Okay, so today we are still graphing quadratics, but they look a little different. Instead of being in the form ax squared b plus bx plus c, it's a times the quantity of x minus h squared plus k. This is called the vertex form. And the reason this is called the vertex is the numbers h and k are actually my vertex. I can see the vertex of the graph without even having to graph it. H moves the graph left and right, K moves the graph up and down. And then when it's moving left and right, because of the formula, because it has a negative, it moves opposite the sign in there. So on number 1, it wants me to graph this and compare it to the graph. Before I go and graph this, I want to see, can you guys tell me what my vertex is here? Close. 4, 0. Because I don't have a y value, right? I don't have a number at the end. And then I grabbed everyone a calculator but myself. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to y equals on my calculator. I'm going to clear out any equation that's there. I'm going to type in the first equation that I'm given. To get the fraction, I just do divides. And then I type the rest of it like I see it. And then it also wants me to compare to the graph of x squared, so that's going to be typed into my y2. Okay, then I'm going to press graph. So how is my blue graph, how is my blue graph different than my red graph? Yeah, it's shifted to the right 4, and this number came from inside my parentheses. And mine doesn't look so good. If I look at the calculator one though, the blue one is also more wider than the red one, so it has a vertical stretch or shrink. It has a vertical shrink because it means I'm condensing it and pushing it together, so it's kind of bulging out at the sides. And this number is the number out front, so the 1/2. Questions on number 1? Yeah. The red line is just x squared. Any other questions here? Okay. So on number 2, what is my vertex going to be? That's not move typically. No. So it's, for the number that goes in the x spot, it's always opposite the sign. So it's going to be -2. And then it's always the number at the end. So this time I have a number at the end. It's -2, 3. Okay. So then I'm going to go graph these two on the calculator. Okay, and then I type it in and I press graph. How is the blue graph different than the red graph? Okay, it doesn't touch the y-axis, so how did it move so it didn't do that? So, one thing I like to do is I like to compare the vertexes. So if I look at the red one, my vertex is at 0, 0, and I know from what we came up with earlier that the blue one, the blue one has a vertex at -2, 3. So this is telling me it's shifted left 2 and up 3. Okay. And then if I also look at the graphs, I'll notice that the blue one is skinnier than the red one. So that means what is going on? Vertical stretch. When it's skinny, it's a stretch. And my vertical stretch, I can't spell stretch. The vertical stretch is by 2 because of the number out in front of the parentheses. Questions on number 2. Can I move on to 3? Okay, so this one wants me to graph g of x, but then also this one tells me something kind of weird for f of x. It says f of x equals g of x plus 5. What this means is plug in x plus 5 for x. So the first step I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite f of x. So I plugged in x plus 5 instead of x in my original equation. Then I want to combine like terms, so 5 plus 2 is 7. So I'm going to rewrite this. Okay. And now I can graph my 2 in the calculator. The bottom is not x2 anymore, it's changed to this new one I've written. It's in the light. Let me move this up so I can see. Okay, so when I go and graph them, you might notice that the blue graph is the same as the last blue graph we did. So what's different about this red graph from this blue graph? How is the red graph different from the blue graph? Okay, besides the color, is there something different about where they are on the graph? How is the red one different than the blue one? Okay, so it's moving to the left, and by how much? I'll give you a hint. I've written it in green on the paper. 5. So this one moves exactly by how much was in the parentheses. Questions here. Okay. Take a few minutes to work on the 3 on the back.